Hi everyone, welcome to Anna by Crafted Threads, and today I want to show you how to make this granny square poncho in a few easy steps. This tutorial is beginner friendly. Grab your hook, let's start. For this project I used thick milk cotton yarn and I needed at least 5 skeins of that, and I used also 8mm crochet hook. I like to start with a magic ring. But if you prefer, you can start with a circle of 3 or 4 chains. I chain 1 and I need to chain 2 more. Be careful with those strands, it's easy to leave some out. This counts as a first double crochet. Then I need to place 11 more double crochets in this magic ring. Please do that and I will meet you at the end of the row. Once I finished my double crochets, I tighten the magic ring and I also need to connect this row. I insert my hook into the third chain of this first double crochet. I grab the yarn and pull through all the loops, then I chain 1. I cut the thread and I pull it out. So now my first row is finished. In the next row, I will place the clusters of 2 double crochets between the stitches, right into these gaps. This is how I introduce a new color in the second row. So I pull the yarn and I have 2 strands. So I make a chain with both of them, and the next 2 chains I will separate the main thread and we'll complete 2 more chains. So in total I will have 3. Next I will place a double crochet into the same space. This is the first 2 double crochets cluster and I will repeat it 11 more times. I like to take the loose ends of yarn into the stitching. Continue crocheting the clusters and I will show you how I go around this knot from the previous row. It doesn't affect the pattern and makes the transition very smooth. Take the loose end of the yarn from the previous row also into your stitching. Continue working in this row and I will meet you at the end of it. To connect this row, I insert my hook into the third chain, I pull through all the loops and I make 1 more chain, cut the thread, pull the yarn and tighten it up. Second row is now completed. Third row is similar to the second one, but I will crochet clusters of 3 double crochets instead of 2. And again I introduce a new color in the same way I just did it in the second row. I chain 3 and this is my first double crochet, so I add 2 more for this first cluster. I place the clusters of 3 double crochets right between the clusters of 2 double crochets from the previous row. Repeat it 11 more times. Continue your work and I will meet you at the end of the row. The only thing left is to connect this row and I will do it in absolutely same way as I did 2 times before. Third row is now completed. The next row is going to be a bit tricky. Each middle double crochet will be placed into the row before the previous one. So I started by chaining 3 and Now the second double crochet is going right between two double crochets from the row before. This way it separates the petals a little bit more. The third double crochet of the cluster goes between the clusters of 3 double crochets from the previous row. This is the tricky part, and now you need to repeat it 11 more times. First double crochet goes between the clusters of 3. The next one goes into the row before, right between these 2 double crochets. And the last double crochet goes like the first one between the clusters of 3. Once you understand how to do that, it's not that difficult anymore. Please continue working this row and connect it in the end. Next row, I start in the 4th space from the knot to the right and introduce a new color again. This time we need to chain 4 in total. So I already had 1 chain, 2, 3, and 4. Why do we need to do that? Because I will start forming the square shape. So for the corner, we need a triple crochet. So I yarn over twice. I pull the thread through first 2, again through next 2, and through the last 2. Yarn over twice, insert the hook, pull through the 2, and again 2, and the last 2. So this is the first cluster of the corner. I will continue working in double crochets. So, but before I need to chain 1. Next cluster is a cluster of 3 double crochets, granny stitch, and you will repeat it twice. From now on, always add a chain between the granny clusters. This is the second granny cluster, and please don't forget to chain 1 between the clusters in every following row. Next, I will form another corner again, and in order to do this, I need to crochet 2 clusters of 3 triple crochets with 3 chains in between. So I yarn over twice, and then I form a triple crochet, and I need 2 more into the same space. And next I will crochet 3 chains in order to form this nice flat corner. Place 3 more triple crochets into the same corner space. And the last one. And please repeat this pattern till the end of the row. Corner piece, 2 clusters of 3 double crochets, and then 2 clusters of 3 triple crochets. Chain 1, and next is a cluster of 3 double crochets. Chain 1 again, and 1 more cluster of 3 double crochets. Chain 1, and now comes the corner again, so we will need 2 clusters of 3 triple crochets with chain 3 in between. Yarn over twice, pull through 2, another 2, and last 2. This is how it should like in the end of the row. What I'm going to do now is to finish the corner. I will place 3 triple crochets into the same space, and this way I will complete the corner I started in the beginning of the row. I prefer to always start granny stitch in the corner. It's more convenient, it's less noticeable, but feel free to explore other options. I'm about to finish this triple crochet, and now I need to chain 3 and connect the row. So I will place my hook into the 4th chain of this first triple crochet, pull through, cut the yarn, and I'm finished with the row 5. Now we have this square shape, and the next row will be a standard granny square row, which will be repeated until you have the desired size. I chain 3, and this is my first double crochet. Now I will crochet 2 more double crochets into the same corner space, and this is just 1/2 of this corner cluster. 2 and 3. Now I chain 1 and continue crocheting clusters of 3 double crochets in each chain space until I reach the corner. Now I am at the corner, and I will crochet 2 clusters of 3 double crochets with 2 chains between them. I will show how I'm doing that. So double crochet 1, double crochet 2, yeah, be careful with those strands, double crochet 3, now chain 2 and another cluster of 3 double crochets. Please repeat it for every corner from now on. In every following row we will repeat only this row and only this way of doing the corners. Chain 1 and continue crocheting your granny clusters until the end of this row. Now I want to show you how to connect this row, and you will repeat it for every following row as well. So I crochet a missing cluster of 3 double crochets, 2 and 3. Now I chain 2 and I connect this row by placing the hook into the 3rd chain of the first double crochet, pull, chain 1, cut, and pull the yarn. So this is the last row of the pattern, and this row will be repeated all over again until you reach a desired size. I added 3 more rows, and now I have 9 rows in total, and the square measures 14.5 inches or 37 centimeters. Now I'm adding last row to my first granny square. I added the last row to my first granny square, and now I am on to my second one. So far I only added last row to one side, and while I keep adding the granny stitches to my second square, I will simultaneously connect the 2 granny squares with each other. So now I am at the corner, and I'm crocheting 3 double crochets in the corner, chain 1, and next I will start connecting these 2 granny squares with each other. So I place the hook into the corner chain space. I pull the yarn and I complete the corner by placing 3 more double crochets as we did before. Work 3 double crochets into the same corner space. Now chain 1, and again we will connect 2 granny squares with each other. I place my hook into the next chain space of the completed square. See what I'm doing? Insert the hook, pull the yarn, and then continue the granny cluster into the next chain space of the square we are working on right now. Let me show you a close-up now. I chain 1, I insert the hook in the chain space of the other granny square, pull the yarn, and this is how it looks like. It's connected very neatly, very nicely, and no additional stitching needed. You crochet and connect at the same time. I continue placing a cluster of 3 double crochets into the row I'm working on right now. Cluster completed, chain 1, connect to the other granny square, and repeat that until the end of the row. Now I reach the corner, so I work the first cluster of the corner as usually, nothing different, just 3 double crochets, then chain 1, and I place my hook into the corner chain space, pull the yarn, and place another 3 double crochets into the same corner space. I connected 2 granny squares side to side. That's it for this row. I don't need to connect any more squares, so I will just go on finishing the row. That is how 2 squares connected look like, and now I will add the third square and I will repeat absolutely same steps. So I start with one side and then I will connect the granny squares and I will finish the row. I connected 3 granny squares and now I will add the last one. I start forming the poncho shape, and this is how I will connect the last piece. I need to connect it to 2 sides in order to form the neckline. It might look confusing, but once you do it yourself, it will become more and more clear. I will add granny stitches to one side, then I will keep connecting the next side. The third side also just granny stitches, and I will connect the fourth side with the other square. Please watch attentively and follow the steps I'm performing. I am on my corner cluster now, so I'm crocheting 3 double crochets. I chain 1, and now I need to connect the corner space. So I insert the hook right between the two squares. I pull the yarn and then I finish the corner by placing 3 more double crochets into the same space, and then I will connect the side as I did that before. This is how it looks like now, nice and flat, all connected very neatly. Continue connecting this side, then complete the other side and I will meet you there. This is how it looks like so far. I connected this side, I crocheted the next side, and now I need to connect these two sides same way I did before. I crochet the cluster of 3 double crochets in the corner, then I chain 1 and I connect it with a corner of the opposite side, and I continue connecting these two sides until the end of this row, and I will meet you at the end. I connect the corner the same way I just did. So I insert the hook right between the squares into this big hole, and then I don't need to chain anymore. I place my hook into the third chain of this first double crochet, then I chain 1, and if you have enough yarn you can continue with the same yarn if you want to, but I don't have enough, so I will chain 1, I will cut the yarn, and I will insert a new color. Before adding the final rows, I'd like to weave in all the ends, all the loose ends, and I like to do that using my crochet hook. Some crocheters use needle, but I prefer it that way. The main thing is to create tension in different directions so your thread will not escape this easily and will stay inside of the stitching. The main aim is to hide the thread and also to secure it so it will not unravel or will not get loose again, so your work will not look very neat. When I feel like it's secure enough, I can cut the thread, and I will repeat it with all loose ends. The better you secure it, the better you hide it, the more nicely your crochet work will look like. I weaved all the ends, and now I will add 1 row to the bottom of the poncho. You can experiment on the color combinations. I introduced a new color because I didn't have enough of gray anymore, so I continue with the yarn I still have left over. So I connect the new yarn, I chain 3 in total, and I will continue working in granny clusters. So I crochet 3 double crochets, then I chain 1, and that is how I go around this connection. So I do not place 2 clusters into each corner piece, but I place 1 cluster right between the 2 squares. That should be enough. Chain 1 and look for the next chain space. It's going to be here. Continue this way around the entire bottom of the poncho and work the corners the same way you worked on the corners in the previous rows. If you feel like it's too small and you want to add a few more rows, please feel free to do so. Now I continue the neckline. I will not do any granny clusters anymore. I will continue with just a row of double crochet in each stitch. I start in the chain space and I chain 3. Next, I place a double crochet into the next stitch. Here is a close-up, so you can see how I'm doing this. I insert the hook under both of the loops, front and back. So the hook goes right under this little braid, and then I do a double crochet. Repeat it for a few more times until you reach the corner, and then I will show you how I like to go around the corner. So now I came to this corner junction, and this is how I like to go around the corner. I start double crochet and place it into the first corner chain space. I pull through 2 loops and I leave it 2 loops on the hook. Again, yarn over, I go into the next corner chain space, pull, and pull through only 2. Now we have 3 loops on a hook. Repeat with the last corner, and now pull through all the loops you have on the hook. This is how your corner look like. The next double crochet goes into the next stitch, and you will continue placing double crochets in every stitch until you reach the second corner, and then you repeat the same for the second corner spot. I came to the end of the row and now I connected. In the next row I will start the ribbon pattern. So I chain 2 and now I wrap my hook around the first stitch, first double crochet stitch. I complete it. I yarn over and now I grab the next stitch from the back and I kind of hug this stitch. If you want to learn how to do the ribbon, you can watch some videos on ribbon only. I don't want to explain too much here. When you came to this corner, grab the entire cluster like this. Continue alternating these two kinds of stitches when you wrap from the front to back, and the next from the back to front. It gives you a very nice chunky ribbon pattern. I really like it. It's one of my favorites though. Repeat this row until you reach the desired height of the neckline. If you want to make a turtleneck, then you're gonna go for a couple of more rows. And also, if you want to continue in the same color, you just repeat this row all over again. But I also want to show you how to introduce another color if you want to. This is how you would connect your rows if you work only with with one color. Then you just slip stitch, chain 2, and then you continue doing the pattern. But this is how you introduce another color. So I grab the yarn of a different color, I pull it through, and I repeat the same steps I did before when I introduce any other color. So I chain 2, and then I continue in the ribbon pattern. So the first one goes from front to back, wrap it around, and the next from back to front. Alternate these two kinds of stitches for a nice ribbing. And this is how I add the fringe to the bottom of the poncho. Cut the strands of a desired length, place them between the clusters, level it up, and then make a knot to secure it. Repeat these steps for each of those spaces. This is how my finished poncho look like. I'm really happy with it. It feels very chunky but soft, and it feels like a warm handmade hug. If you like my video, please like and subscribe to join me for more exciting crochet and quilting projects. Thank you for watching. Bye!